Terrible things were about to happen. But on that morning, I'd never been happier since I was a fox cub. It was the first warm day of spring, and already the bluebells were opening up in White Deer Park, and the air smelled so sweet. My vixen was by my side, and she was beautiful. All the animals were smooching with their mates, or looking for new ones. Ah, springtime in the forest. I felt this would be the best year ever for all of us, especially for my grandson, Plucky. This year he'd grow up to be a bigger, better fox than ever I was. Lovely morning for a race, Dashy.
Not again, Plucky. I always win. Hares are faster than foxes.
I know you always win, but I feel extra special fast today. To the gorse bush on the hill and back.
You're on.
Look, see, fox matey. Plucky and Dash are having a race.
Yes, I see. Come on, Plucky! Plucky!
He'll never outrun the hare.
Yes, he will. Oh, how I wish I was his age again. Come on, Plucky! He's winning!
Not a chance. Come on, Dash.
He's winning, you poisonous toad. Plucky! Once upon a time, I was the fastest fox in White Deer Park. Now I'm the slowest.
Come on, Dash. But if it weren't for you, fox matey, there would be no foxes left alive in White Deer Park to race hares on a spring morning.
Quite right, Toad. Look! Didn't I say he's going to win? Plucky, come on! Oh, Weasel, that pest of a weasel. She walked right in his way. Plucky, are you all right, lad? Well tried, Plucky.
Weasel, oh, gorgeous Weasel, speak to me. Weasel, she's been run over. That fox has killed my gorgeous Weasel.
Oh, shut up, you twerp. I'm not even slightly dead. And anyway, it's all your fault.
I would have won. Weasel, you pestilential creature.
You're all the same, you foxes. You blame me for everything, don't they, Measley? You'd think I'd get some sympathy, some consideration. After all, in my condition...
Condition?
Condition? Oh.
Oh, she's not, is she? Oh, mateys, you know what this means. More pesky weasels.
Yes, it's true. I am with a weasel. It's all your fault. Look what you've done to me.
With Weasel. Oh, Weasel, you're so gorgeous.
It was at that moment that Whistler, our wonky heron friend, arrived, with the news that turned all my hopes of a wonderful year to nothing. Ever since, when I'm at my happiest, I suddenly expect disaster to strike.
Fox, I don't know how to tell you. It's the great white stag. He's dead. He was drinking in the stream and just dropped dead, poisoned. I reckon something the humans spilled into the water.
The great white stag dead? He was a fine friend to us all, the noblest creature I've ever known. Ow, it's terrible news.
You don't have to tell me, Fox. I've seen for myself. Tragic, yes. But past is past. What's dead is dead. What I want to know is which stag is going to take over as master of the herd.
It'll be Trey. He's the biggest.
A right thuggish monster. Antlers like an oak tree. He's no matey of mine, mateys.
Well, Fox, a thuggish monster in charge of the park. What are you going to do about it? I demand to know. I am, as I have said, with a weasel.
With Weasel?
With Weasel? Dearie me, that means more weasels.
Shut up, you tatty old bird. I am not bringing baby weasels into the world to have them trampled to death by a thuggish monster.
Stop being such a ninny. Perhaps this Trey won't take the great white's place after all. You always make such a fuss.
You'd make a fuss if you had little ones to worry about. But you never will you? Sitting up there all hoity-toity, insulting my little ones when they aren't even born yet. Haven't got a mate, have you? I have. Look at him. A big, strong, brave weasel. He's gorgeous.
Oh, she loves me. Oh, she's gorgeous and she loves me, and I'm gorgeous as well. Oh.
Everyone round here's got a mate except you, Al.
Yes, Owl matey. Why is that?
Well, I just haven't found the right owl yet, that's all. Ooh.
You mean that every owl you've ever met has flown off in the opposite direction, double quick?
No, Weasel, please, it's not like that at all.
Yes, it is. You're too old and tatty for a start. But the main thing is, you don't have a warm heart. Not like me, eh, Measley? I've a warm heart, haven't I?
Oh, yes, Weasel.
She hasn't, though, has she?
Oh, no. No, she's not like you at all.
Oh, Measley, what a terrible thing to say. Oh, oh, oh.
Measley, you've upset Al. She's flying far away. We'll probably never see her again.
Terrible day. Such evil news. The great white stag was dead. Weasel was with Weasel, which meant more weasels. But perhaps worst of all, on that perfect spring morning, the rats arrived.
Yes, we rats arrived. Who am I? I said, who am I? Bully! I'm Bully! Let's try again, shall we? Who am I?
Bully.
That's right. We came up from the city, from the lovely smelly drains. Course I wanted my own kingdom, see, away from humankind. A nice forest for me and my ratty, see. Who am I? Bully, that's right. Chief of the rats. World's greatest rat, that's me. And what splendiferous luck, weren't it, ratties? Course the first thing we found was that great white stag, stone dead, beside the stream. I whipped my ratties with my tail, so happy was I. How I squeaked! Mine! Mine! White Deer Park would be mine! With that monster dead, who could stop us taking over, eh? Who am I? So off we went, all 24 of us, smelling the bluebells and looking for something to persecute. Anything would do. We found ourselves a mole. Who am I?
Lovely day.
Who am I?
I don't think we've met, have we?
I'm Bully, that's who. Lord of the sewers, most powerful rat on earth. Eh, ratties?
Bully! 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 Bully!
Ratty Spike, Ratty Brat, shall you kill this little mole, or shall I?
Don't kill me, please.
Who am I? Who am I?
I'm not a measly weasel, really, and this proves it. I was having myself a walk, smelling the bluebells, thinking how much I love my gorgeous weasel and how much she loved gorgeous me, and what a good father I was going to be when I saw those huge rats persecuting that poor little mossy mole. What did she say I was? She said I was gorgeous. She said I was big, strong, and brave. Oh, brave. Oh, yeah, yes, I am. She said I was, and I am. And don't be frightened, Mossy. I'm coming.
Bully! Bully! Bully!
It's a wee. I can't say the word. Scarpa ratties, save yourselves. It's a wee.
I'm brave! I'm brave! I'm brave! I'm brave! I charged through the bluebells like a mad horse. Oh, I was brave. Rats were all around me. Rats smelling of sewers, tails flicking, whipping my ears off. Horrible, yeah. And when I got to the molehill, they'd all scarpered from such an excellently brave weasel as myself. There was only one rat left, but it was as big as a badger. Bigger, as big as those things in zoos with long noses. Huge, ginormous. Oh, and 'cause I'm strong as well as brave, I lifted it over my head, and I threw it into a bramble bush. Oh, what a weasel I was that day. Oh, thank you, Measley. You've saved my life. Fox.
I heard a dreadful commotion, Mossy. What's the trouble?
Rats. Huge, nasty rats. 24 of them, and every one bigger than those things in zoos with long noses. Measley saved me. You should have seen him. He was so brave. Measley, my hero.
Well done, Measley. I'd no idea you were so brave. I'll think of you differently from now on. Very well done.
Oh, aren't I brave? I must find Weasel and tell her how brave I've been. Weasel! 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 Weasel!
I enjoy being a weasel. La la la. Da. Well, Measley! Where are you, you twerp?
Weasel! Weasel, I'm here! This is me, your gorgeous mate and father of your weasel!
You forgot to say that you're a twerp! Twerp! I enjoy being a weasel!
I have never heard such a terrible noise. Thought so. Weasels.
Oh, Trey. I'm terribly sorry. I was calling for my mate to tell her how brave I am.
Brave? Him?
If I hear you once ever, make any noise at all, I shall stamp you flat. Got it? Or if anyone, even a fly, complains to me about a weasel making any noise whatsoever, I shall stamp you flat with my hooves. Got it? I don't like weasels.
Pity for you, I'm sure. Go on, Measley. If you're so brave, fight him.
Oh.
I see. It's like that, is it? Lip and defiance. Well, this is my park now. Weasels are nuisance makers, and I won't have nuisance makers full of lip and defiance in my park. So you can get out this minute, right? Or I'll stamp you flat.
But my mate, she's in a delicate condition.
More weasels?
There's nothing wrong with weasels, and don't you dare snort at us like that, oak tree head.
No, Measley. The ugly brute is right. It's what everyone else said this morning. More weasels. I'll not stay where we're not wanted, where my little ones will be hated by everyone. We'll go. Leave White Deer Park forever. Find a better place where we can bring up our little family.
That's right. Clear off, weasels.
Come on, Measley, or he'll stamp us flat. And my little ones when they come. Flat. Flat little ones.
Weasel! Weasel!
Good riddance. If there's one thing I cannot stand, it's a weasel.
I didn't want to leave White Deer Park. All my old friends were there, Fox well, I did have friends, I promise. I was very popular for a weasel. Let's stay, Weasel, I said. Please, let's stay. We're safe here, really. Apart from the 24 rats and the mad stag. Quite safe. Yeah. Oh, well, all right then, I'm coming.
Hurry up, Measley, stupid twerp.
We weaseled through the big nettle patch and jumped through the gate. Now we were outside of the sanctuary of White Deer Park. Fields were ahead of us, a patchwork of thousands of ploughed fields. I tripped after Weasel, away from home. When I looked back, the setting sun was tangled in the trees, and the bluebells that carpeted the wood were bright purple and gorgeous. But where I stood in a rut in a field, it was brown, ugly, and a lonely place. Would I ever have a home again? I didn't think so. Weasel! Wait for me, Weasel!
I, too, was leaving White Deer Park. What Weasel said to me was true. I had no mate, because every owl I'd ever met hadn't liked me. Oh, I'd met some handsome owls, yes, but well, I don't know why they didn't beg to be my mate. Something wrong with them, I suppose. I'm not pompous, you know. I'm not overbearing, not at all. But I must admit, did I have a warm heart? I wasn't sure. So, off I flew, out of White Deer Park, the sun setting behind me, and below I saw those horrid weasels scampering across the brown fields. If I didn't find a mate, I would never return to White Deer Park. No one would ever see me again. I'd stick myself in a hollow tree and die there. That's what. Nobody loves me. Why does nobody love me?
There now, ratties, what did I tell you, eh? What a perfect place for me to set up a kingdom, with me as king and you worshipping me all day. Who am I?
Bully, 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 bully.
That's right. The great white stag is dead. Those dreadful them things is gone. And the only other threat to ratties is owls. And that tatty old article has flown off. See? There she goes, off to find a mate. Some chance never to be seen again. So now it's mine. Mine! I'll kill everything that's not a rat. I'll have it all! Who am I?
Bully, 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 bully.
Now then, mateys, I was having myself the sort of spring that toads have, doing the sort of thing that keeps toads happy. But things weren't the same in White Deer Park. There was them rats for a start. They chose them for their headquarters. A lightning-struck old tree down by the boundary fence. I discovered this, mateys. Me, Toad. I did. I went down there and hid in a knothole and counted them.
Oh, am I?
Bully, 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 bully.
I gave up counting at 2008. Brrr, rats! I hopped away and told Fox that there were 1 million, maybe a zillion of rats, but he said that toads are given to exaggeration. There's only 24 rats, and they'll probably move on soon. Toads are given to exaggeration. Oh, so off I went to sit by the pond and sulk. I met my froggy mateys there, and they told me that rats kept coming down to the pond and snatching froggies off the rocks where they sit watching out for flies. These snatched froggies had disappeared forever, most probably eaten. Well, there now, mateys, I told them. That's 'cause there's 1 million or maybe a zillion of rats moved into the park, not just 24. And pretty soon that exaggerated number of rats would eat every froggy in the pond, so there. One morning, when Plucky Fox came down to the pond for a lap, I started telling him it was zillions, not 24. Oh, toads are given to exaggeration. Do stop harping on about rats. You're getting everyone nervous. Look at these frogs here. They're worried to bits.
But plucky matey, it's not me what worries 'em, it's the rats. And if it's not them, it's that whopping great stag what worries 'em.
Ah, good morning, Trey.
Oop, it's him.
Another lovely morning.
No, it's not. I've seen a weasel.
Couldn't have. Weasel and Measley left the park ages ago.
I mean you. You're a weasel.
I'm a weasel?
I'm glad you admit it.
Does a weasel have a bushy tail like this one?
You're barmy, matey. He's a fox. Foxiest fox there is, he is.
As far as I'm concerned, anything that isn't a white deer is a weasel. That makes you, and you, weasels. What is this place, huh? White Deer Park, that's what. That means it's the home of white deer, not weasels like you and your Farthing Wood friends.
We've as much right here as you have.
Out of my sight, weasels!
Oh, Plucky's tail brushed my face as he ran between the balmy stag's legs and ran away fast into the darkness of the forest. I jumped into the pond and sat at the bottom for a long time, listening to thunder. When I came up for a look-see, I saw deep hoofprints all around the pond. The thunder had been Trey, stamping his hoofprints into the earth in the worst case of bad temper a stag ever had. He was a big problem, maybe worse than the rats. There were zillions of them, you know, not 24, zillions.
I had no idea how far I would have to fly before I found a suitable mate. Handsome male owls are not easy to find. Most owls, like almost everything else, are, well, you know what I mean, not up to my standard. Anyway, so far I hadn't seen an owl at all, suitable or not. I was flying through a storm over landscape that I recognized. We had passed through here on our famous journey to White Deer Park. And a church bell tower. Just the sort of place to find another owl sheltering from the rain. But there wasn't. Not a feather. So I went to sleep in a tizzy of loneliness. When I woke up, I was surrounded by bats. Bats! Ugh. Good afternoon.
Is that addressed to me personally as Chief Bat, or is it a general remark directed at all of us bats?
Either way, I don't care a hoot.
It says it doesn't care a hoot.
Doesn't care a hoot.
Doesn't care a hoot.
You don't mind my sharing your belfry? Of course you don't. Actually, I was looking for another owl.
It's looking for a mate. A mate? A mate? A mate? I'll find it a mate.
No, thank you. Look, I find it very hard to talk to anyone when they're upside down.
Of course I'm upside down. I'm a bat.
That's your problem, not mine.
I'm insulted. She's insulted. She's insulted. It's no wonder you can't find a mate if you go around insulting bats. But as I feel sorry for you, I'll go and find you one anyway.
And then she went off, that horrid old bat. And when she returned, there was the most moth-eaten rook that can possibly be imagined.
I know it's not an owl as such, but it's a bird of some sort, isn't it? It'll do you.
Ooh!
Hello. I love you.
You can't love me. We haven't even met. And you're a rook, all moth-eaten and flea-bitten. I want an owl, not a moth-eaten rook. A nice, handsome owl.
I do love her. It was love at first sight. I am moth-eaten, she's right, but I have a warm heart.
I spent that night sleeping on a dead tree beside a motorway, drenched by the rain, feeling very sorry for myself. What would they think of me at White Deer Park if I returned with a moth-eaten rook for a mate? I had hardly opened my eyes to see the sunny new day when a handsome owl swooped swept across the sun and landed beside me.
Blustery night, wasn't it?
Blustery, yes.
Plenty of mice about there. I caught 16. If I'd known you were here, I'd have saved you one.
He was an excellent specimen, with dark, fluffy feathers around his beak. Oh, we were getting along famously, chatting away. I thought I'd found him, my mate. But just when I was about to tell him how much I admired him, another owl swooped up.
A gracious good morning.
Oops, this is my mate. Morning, dear. Would you believe it? I caught 16.
I caught 24.
Better be off then. Catch a few more. Toodaloo!
He's very handsome, isn't he?
Who?
You know who. You're looking for a mate. I know the look.
Well, well, yes, actually I am. You don't know where I might find a male owl as splendid as your mate, do you?
There aren't any. Not like him. But I tell you what, this is what we could do.
She directed me to a copse, miles and miles away, across more countryside than I'd ever flown. I think, actually, she just wanted me out of the way. Her handsome mate, you know. He preferred me. He did, I swear. But, of course, she was rather beautiful, I admit, and me rather old and tatty. Oh, I would never find a mate. Never.
Measly is a twerp, but he found the perfect place for my little ones to be born. A pretty little barn in the corner of the farmyard. I called the baby weasels Cleo after my mother and Fido. Why Fido? Because I once had a girl human calling the name in the forest. Every day for weeks she came shouting, Fido, Fido, and shedding tears. Fido, I thought. What a beautiful name. Anyway, now I had a Fido of my own and was determined that he wouldn't grow up into a twerp like his father. And Cleo, my Cleo, how adorable. Weasels, you know, are never more adorable than when they're a week old. Honk, honk, honk. Measly! Measly!
Oh.
Measly, you're a bad father and a useless twerp of a weasel. Our little ones, look at them. They're running about the farmyard honking like geese. They'll grow up thinking they're geese doing goosey things. And then what? Measly, teach them to be weasels.
I will, I can. I'm a weasel. I know all about that. I'll teach them all. Now then, baby weasels.
Honk, honk,
Today's lesson in how to be a weasel is all about mischief and disruption.
honk, honk,
Oh, and please remember, weasels don't honk.
honk, honk, honk.
Fido, Cleo, don't honk, please. Oh, I'll get in terrible trouble if you honk.
That isn't gooses I hear honking, is it, Measly? That's weasels. Measly?
Hello, weasel. Oh.
For their first lesson, Measly took Fido and Cleo into the hen house to steal eggs and generally upset the hens. I don't know who taught Measly to be a weasel, but it couldn't have been another weasel. My little ones, though, they were just naturally weaselish. They plucked feathers out of all the hens and broke eggs over Measly's head. Such a noise I've never heard. The farmer came out and his hands were searching through an eggy mess with Measly in the middle of it when Cleo jumped out from behind a hen and bit his finger in half. I enjoyed that. It's much better being a weasel than being a goose, isn't it, Fido? Goose. Weasel. Honk. Weasel. What a happy little family we were. So in our cosy barn. Measley's coat was all leggy, and the little ones were licking him clean, and I was singing so beautifully when that monstrous goose barged in.
Honk, honk.
I've been delegated by the farmyard animals as a whole, see, to inform you, see, that there's a meeting in the pigsty, see, right away, see, a meeting concerning you weasels and your presence in this here farmyard, see. So follow me, see? Honk, honk, honk. And don't honk, geese honk, see? Weasels, weasel.
Oh, Measley, how wonderful! A meeting held specially in our honour. How friendly!
Oh.
I declare this meeting open, see? Honk.
So nice of you to invite us. This is my husband, Measley. He's a weasel. And my young Fido and Cleo. They're weasels. We're all weasels.
We know very well that you're weasel.
Aren't you fat?
I've got prizes for it. I'm the fattest pig in the country. But we're not here to talk about me, which is a fascinating subject that will keep us entertained for the rest of our lives. We've called this meeting to inform you weasels about the complaint.
Oh, so that's it. Complaints, is it?
As if you two big, horrible weasels weren't bad enough, those two new little ones have ruined our peace and quiet.
We are giving you notice to quit.
I'm supposed to say that. Quit, weasels. Go on. Clear off.
The cheek! Measley, you deal with them. Do something to them.
No point in staying where we're not wanted, Weasel. Let's go. Come on, Fido. Come on, Cleo.
Oh, thrown out. Evicted. They all hate us. What did we do wrong, Measley? Measley, this is all your fault. We're homeless and with two little ones.
If there's one thing I can't stand, it's weasels. And geese, and hens, bullocks, sheep, ducks, other pigs.
At last I persuaded Fox and Plucky to come and have a look-see at that big old dead tree, where I'd counted a zillion rats. They're in there, I said. Rats, sucking their tails and eking something horrible they are. Rats, a zillion. Yuck! But when my mateys poked their foxy noses into the hole in the side of the tree, no rats, none. They'd gone deep into holes in the earth and were properly hid. That was this toad's opinion.
No rats here, Toad.
I can smell them. Rats.
Can you smell zillions?
24?
Oh.
And it looks like they've moved on.
Here, excuse me. What are you looking for?
A rat! Fox, Plucky! It's a big juicy one!
I'm Spike.
Cor, and he horrible mate is.
Hello there, Spike. Toad here says there's zillions of rats living in this old tree trunk.
No, never. Just me. He must have counted me a zillion times, eh? I come up from the city for some fresh air. I'm all by myself.
There you are, Toad. Exaggerating as usual. Not a zillion rats, just one juicy one. Bye-bye, rat. Keep out of trouble, won't you?
Trouble? Me?
Come on, Plucky. Let's go and see if Trey's in a bad temper this morning, shall we?
You're not the only rat, are you?
What? Me? No, of course I'm not. World's full of them.
He was properly horrible, was my new matey Spike. A nasty-looking rat. But I enjoyed his company. I told him all about ponds. He told me all about sewers. Very interesting. I even tried to teach him to swim. That's it, Spike, matey. Kick your legs.
I'm drowning.
No, you're not.
Hey, you! Get out of my pond, you horrible, dirty creatures! This is where I come to drink with my hinds. We don't want filthy, dirty, diseased creatures in the water. Get out! From now on, only white deer are allowed to drink from the pond. And if I see you near the water again, I'll Stump, you flat.
That balmy stag gave matey Spike quite a fright. He forgot everything I taught him and sank to the bottom. It took me and 12 froggies to drag him out. We hid him in a bush, hopping up and down on his belly to get the water out of him. Call me balmy myself, mateys, but I rather liked him.
Hello, I'm your friend. Herco, that's me. I'm kind. Oh, very kind. Too kind, I'm sometimes told. I've lots of friends. Scaly friends, feathered friends, friends that woof, friends that moo, friends that make no noises at all. They just sit there doing nothing. But they're still friends. Oh, I've always had lots of friends, but I had no badger friends. I'm a badger myself, you see. And a badger without badger friends, however many other friends he's got, well, he gets lonely, see? And sad and pathetic, isn't it? But then, one day, in late spring, I was sitting on a hillock saying hello to bees that happened by, when she came up to me. Yeah, Shadow, a female badger, and so kind. Oh, kind. Kinder than me. I'm not entirely kind, see. I have unkind thoughts sometimes. But Shadow, I knew just to look at her. She was kind all through. Next thing I knew, we touched noses. She was my mate, and I'd never be lonely again. And loving her so much, see, I now had much more opportunity to be kind. She said the best place for us to settle down together was in White Deer Park, where the legendary Farthing Wood fox lived. He was kind, I was kind. We'd get on famously, she said. Oh, I was happy. But on the way there, we met a bunny rabbit friend, and he wasn't well. Shadow drank from the stream while I looked after him.
I don't know what's wrong with me.
Perhaps your burrow is too damp. I'm your friend. I'll build you a new bunny rabbit burrow. I'm a good digger as well as kind.
I keep drinking to get more thirsty all the time.
The trick is, see, to dig the burrow extra deep and put stones on the bottom. I tell all my bunny rabbit friends this. Oh, you do look funny.
It's the water, I think. Everything's spinning round.
Oh, Shadow, my bunny rabbit friend, he's dropped dead.
Doesn't matter how much I drink, I still feel thirsty.
Stop! You mustn't drink, Shadow. The water, it's poisoned.
Oh, poor wee bunny rabbit, poisoned. And now me.
No, you won't die. You'll be all right. We'll find fresh, clean water. It'll wash away the poison in you. Can you walk?
I think so. Oh, Hercule, I feel so ill.
I thought she was dying. My lovely new mate. Oh, Shadow, she could hardly walk. She dragged herself. I pushed her, did my best. See, I'm strong as well as kind. But then she couldn't move anymore, and I was too upset to help her. A squirrel friend slipped down a tree and told me that there was a pond nearby. Not far, Shadow, I told her. Not far, dearest one. A pond. Don't die. Please don't die. With the last of her strength, she clawed her way to the pond, and she drank. There's lovely, clear, fresh water, Shadow. You'll be all right, I'm sure.
You! Stop that drinking! Stop now, I say!
Oh, what a magnificent fellow you are. I've never seen a handsomer stag.
Only deer can drink from this pond.
Oh, I am sorry. We didn't know. She'll only be a minute. I'm your friend.
Stop drinking, you ugly creature!
Now, now then, stop being silly, boyo. Wave your antlers at Shadow once more, and I am sorry, but I'll bite you. I will, you know.
Go on,
Oh,
do you?
well, all right then, all right. Well, I said I would. Oh, I am sorry you're limping. Oh, I'm unkind. An unkind badger. Watch out, molehill coming. Here it comes. Whee! Oops. Have I come up in the middle of bother? Oh, badgers. I love badgers. Hello, little mole friend. Can you offer me any advice, please? This balmy stag, when his fetlock stops hurting, will charge us and stick us on his antlers and Shadow, it hasn't worked. She's still dying. I know where there's an old badger set. She can rest there. Oh, that badger is